Well, hello students and welcome to Learn Piano Now with Daniel Joyner. I hope you're looking forward to learning something new today because I am looking forward to teaching you. Have you ever wondered how to play bass lines in the left hand on the piano instead of just sustaining the bass notes or instead of playing arpeggios? Well, you're in luck because today's lesson is on how to play bass lines in the left hand on the piano. So let's dive into the lesson. For today's lesson, we're going to use the 1-5-6-4 progression in the key of C, which is C major chord, G major chord, A minor chord, F major chord. 1, 5, 6, and 4. Okay? And in our left hand, we're going to go down like that. Okay, 1, 5, 6, 4. And we're going to put our right hand chords in the closest inversions possible. Instead of going up here to 5, we're going to find our closest inversion of the 5 chord. If you haven't seen my video on how to play chord progressions smoothly using inversions and how to play chord progressions in general, you'll want to watch those now. Okay, so you have root position C major, first inversion G chord, G major chord, first inversion A minor chord, right? So this is the root position, this is the first inversion, and then we have the second inversion F chord, C, F, A, all right? So we have 1, 5, 6, 4, all right? I'm going to demonstrate the first bass line and then we'll dive into it. So the pattern here is a typical rock bass line, which is a dotted quarter note followed by an eighth note, and then you just repeat that rhythm over and over again. So it's counted like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? Now you put it with the right hand: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Now you might say, well, that sounds a little basic. We want some pizzazz in there, a little more flavor. Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me show you how. Okay, first of all, we're going to add something to the end of each phrase, and I'm going to show you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1. So what I did there is after the 4, instead of 1/8 note, I did a dotted quarter note followed by 2 16th notes, which are played on G and A. So 3 and 4 and a 1. Okay? So that's the first little element of flavor that you can add. The second element is after the second phrase, which I'll show you now. Here's another phrase, second phrase, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. So that last phrase ends with a walk down from 4 to 1, okay? And the rhythm is 3 and 4E and 1. So it's a quarter note and then followed by 16th, 16th, 8th, 3 and 4E and 1. Okay? So you put that into context, and then you have your first phrase ending, which is, and your second phrase ending, which is, so let's put that all together. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2. Here's the second phrase, and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4E and 1. So very important to note the fingering on that second phrase ending. You'll put your thumb under on the F the second time you hit it because you want to have enough fingers to get down here. All right? So let's put that with the right hand. Okay, that's pretty neat. Adds a little bit more flavor to the bass line. Now, if you're saying, well, that's kind of nice and all, but I want even more flavor. Well, I'm glad you asked. Let me show you how. Okay, so more flavor. We're going to add chromaticism now. Chromaticism simply means the use of half steps on the keyboard. A half step is just the distance from one key to the very next key on the keyboard. This is a half step, this is a half step, and so on. So we're going to add half steps to our bass line now. So this time we're going to go 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1. Okay? So 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. So we're approaching, right, from the 1 to the 5, we're approaching the 5 of the scale, the G, from 2 half steps below. So F, F sharp, G. Then we're approaching the A, the next note, from 2 half steps below, which is G, G sharp, A. All right? And then we're approaching the F. Instead of 2 half steps below from the F, I'm actually going to play the A. I'm going to repeat the A and go to E, then go up to F. I think that sounds a little better for the F rather than that, because then here we're starting on a non-scale degree. It sounds a little strange. So for the F chord, we're going to go 1 and 2, 3, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Okay, so 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 E and 1. Now you got a really cool bass line with lots of movement. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2. Now, do you have to add all of that stuff at the same time? No, you don't. You can just do some of it, or you can do all of it. So here's an example of one time through with just some of it. If you want your bass line to sound a little more sparse, do that. Okay, so that adds a little bit of flavor and gives you some options to use it with. Now let me show you a second bass line. This is the second bass pattern here, which is, it's more of a kind of a poppy bass line. So the rhythm is 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1. Okay, 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1. Now, what can you add to that to make it sound interesting? What can you add to make it sound interesting? Well, I'm glad you asked. You can add the same thing that you added to the last bass line. Isn't that convenient? Now, you would add 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 E and a 1 and 2 E and a 3 and 4 E and a 1, or 3 and 4 E. Yeah, so basically the same stuff that you did before, except on the last one it'll go 3 and 4 E and 1, like that. So it's a slightly different rhythm, but it's the same exact concept. Now let's put that together. 1 and 2, 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1 and 2 and a 3 and 4 and a 1. Now, do you have to do all of that at once? The answer is again, no, you don't have to. You can just add some of that and it'll still have a lot of flavor. Okay, so you can add some elements, and bear in mind that this isn't just one way to do it. There are multiple ways to change these patterns and do them in your own way. This is just a guide or an example of how to spice up your bass lines a little bit. Well, there's one more little trick in here for those of you who might want a little habanero flavor, a little extra spice on there. On the 6th chord, when you go from the 5 to the 6th chord, so you go 1, 2, 3, and 4, E and a 1. So you can walk down to the 3, back to the 5, then a half step below the 6, then to the 6th. So 1, 2, 3, and 4, E and a 1, 2, 3, and... Okay, so there you have it. There's our basic introduction to how to play some cool bass line patterns in the left hand. I hope you got a lot out of that, and I hope you can start putting that into your own music right away. So please subscribe to my channel for weekly piano lesson videos and different topics, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye for now, guys.